Let's get this figured out. This world gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
MaddenHeadz YouTube, what's going on? It is your boy Coach DC coming back at you today with another video. And so I figure I'd reel off a few of these MUT games or Ultimate Team games that I have saved. You see me right here in the slot, and show you a couple things in the process. He did a really good job, my opponent, of standing in the pocket on that, because normally at any other time, somebody's going to try to bail out or just throw the ball to a bad spot. He really went through his reads and back to his other read. And I mean, I couldn't do anything but give him credit on that. Right there, that was pretty good defense. I actually got through and then stopped for some reason. But a lot of times when you're using this press coverage technique, some of the things I feel like that hinder it is just that right there, running into your own players. And sometimes you can sometimes your guy will run into somebody else and leave somebody open. So a lot of times pressing and switching off of the guy is actually a necessity. Like, you have to be able to do it. And so it was just one of those cases right there where he was able to stand in the pocket. He's down here at the goal line right now, playing some really good run defense, and I get him to a 3rd and 5 right here. And so watch, I'm originally on Taylor, and so this is a technique that I have where I can switch stick to one of the rushing blitzing linemen. You see all the guys right there with the exclamation points are blitzing. Watch me switch outside over here to Hendricks, and I had the table route. I was sitting on it, and for some reason I thought he saw me. And that's the reason why I kind of stood there for a second. I thought he saw me, so then he decided not to throw. But actually, I think he didn't see me at all, and he just held it for an extra second. And I took myself right out of that, and he was able to get it for the touchdown. So first time with the ball, came out, ran a little I form, one of my little cheat motion plays. I think it catches people off guard at the beginning of the games because they expect you to kind of run the stretch or whatever. Right here, that's just me just totally tricking off the buttons right there. Anytime you motion a lot, sometimes I have a tendency to forget who I motioned and what guy I'm supposed to be throwing to. I was trying to throw the underneath route, threw it to the wrong guy, but was able to survive and not throw a book right there and still keep the ball. Got myself back in a first down situation. And I think this was one of Thorpe's last games on my team, because he went into a terrible fumbling spell where he fumbled like 4 times in like 2 games. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's gotta go. But you see right there, 7 up. Still press covering, even out of man or zone, you see the chuck right there by Prime. And then once I can play this zone, it doesn't matter what the zone drops are at that point. I can play that zone better than anybody, but apparently Madden doesn't think that I deserve any interceptions, because I don't know how I didn't get a pick on that play. Like, I did practically everything I was supposed to do. The bait was good, the press was good. Now watch me get myself into position. I even turned around for the animation properly and just decided to stick my hands in his face mask as opposed to catch the ball. Right there, what you see me do is when you see me drop like an edge guy, like I might drop an end on one side and maybe the slot corner who might be blitzing on the other side. In a lot of man-to-man situations, I'll do that to take away like the immediate, like the zigs and the return routes and all that kind of stuff. And what it does, it's basically going to force your opponent into trying to go down the field a little bit, where, he's throwing into all of my KOs and all that kind of stuff. And so good pick right there, was able to get the possession. Started out on first down, something nice and simple, little cheat motion, came back out on second down. A nice little running back zig, 3rd down stretch, little hesitation right there, and get myself up in the hole to get to first down marker. So at the 27-yard line, a little bit less than 2 minutes. So here is where I'm going to start taking probably a little bit more time off the clock. I'm not rushing into my play calls as much. I'm not rushing into my setups as much because I want to I want to use as much time as humanly possible. But I want to score a touchdown at the same time. So it's, you have to be kind of aware of two things. And it gets a little tricky in this situation with that, is you see him right here try to jam my tight end right there, and he actually just got in the way just enough. My feet weren't set to make the read across the middle initially when I wanted to throw it, so I had to really just highball that. That was more so I was just throwing that so that it wouldn't get picked. It was just one of those situations, and give myself maybe a outside possibility of making a play, which did not happen. So anytime you run the cheat motion plays, you have to find the plays in the same formation or set that are running plays that give you that same cheat motion, either to the tight end or the running back. Either to the tight end, the running back, or the receiver, and then you can kind of run other plays off of it. As you see right here at the end of the half, good jam right there on the slide, as you see. Now, here's something funny, is as I'm watching everybody kind of catch up to speed on the motion and the not the motion, but the pressing the receivers, manually pressing the receivers at the line. I'm going to say this one time only. If you're using LB to press the receivers, LB or L1, you're not getting the most out of your press coverage. I'm going to say that. Let me say it let's say it twice. If you're using L1 or LB to press the receivers at the line of scrimmage, that's the reason why you're probably getting beat half the time and your guys aren't pressing at all. It's a different way to do it. And so you're going to have to go and check out the manual press video, or you can, like I said, it's not that it doesn't work with L1 or LB, but you're not getting the best press coverage you can get. And so I just leave it at that. But anyway, went out 14-7, you know what I'm saying? Come back out in the second half right here. And, I have the ball right now. And right now the offense is I'm a little off kilter. I'm actually in somewhat of a new playbook. I'm using the Saints playbook. Right now, I was originally using, what was I using? I think I was using the Lions playbook for a long time, and then I went to spread, and so now I'm in the Saints playbook. So I'm still learning a couple of the reads, a couple of the plays. That was pass interference right there, but they did not call it. Still was a terrible read, nevertheless, by me. But right now, again, once you start to play in between the numbers, and you understand the route combinations in between the numbers and how to throw it and how to set up your routes, it makes things a lot easier. And to me, you turn the ball over less. As you see, low scoring game, 14-7 going into the fourth quarter right here. But the thing is, we have the ball. And the main part right here is to get a minimum of 3 points. You want to go up by at least 2 scores. I know you guys have heard me say that 1,000 times before, but that's just common football sense. But we're still trying to score. Don't get me wrong. We're just not settling for a field goal. We put the ball in the running back's hands, try to get a few yards right there. This was good defense by him. He dropped enough guys in the spots that I wanted to go, and I know how Madden treats me. That was just not a good idea for me to throw into any of those windows once I didn't see what I wanted. Take the 3 and then just rely on your defense. You have to think. I've only given up 7 points at this point in time in this game, and so defense is not an issue. Even if I give up a touchdown here, you know what I'm saying? I'm still up, and I still have the ball, and I still have the time that's on my side. And so the main thing here is just not to give up anything easy. You know what I'm saying? Chuck, press the guys you need to press, be in the positions you need to be in. And just by the fact that he caught that and went down, I can tell he's not feeling very confident about his passing windows. Anytime you catch one of those and get down, that means you probably thought it was a book too. He comes back out in his cheat motion right there, as you see me just kind of go across the formation. And I didn't want to switch stick to the safety at a certain point in time of that route if I didn't do it immediately off the snap of the ball. Because if I would have switched late, then at that point in time, they would have probably just let his guy just run straight down the sidelines as I went to the middle of the field. So a lot of that is timing. As you see, he tried to do the smart thing right there, take the field goal, get the 3 points, and then he was going to come back an onside kick, but that did not work out. Probably later tonight, early tomorrow, I'm gonna release the quick set video. Man, y'all gonna love this. This is the ultimate video in how to set up your pass protections. Anyway, man, it's your boy Coach. I'm out.